we've certainly seen through this COVID period, and both in the States and Australia, that the more people going to this direct share type of arrangement, and as you've listed there, your E-Trade, CommSec, NavTrade, common platforms that people use.
Yeah.
I was looking for the other night, and there was Jenny said, "Oh, I think I can't remember what it was. It might have been IG or something like that." I said, "What's that?" So we googled it, and it was another investment platform that was sponsoring a Melbourne Footy Club.
Yeah.
So there's plenty out there.
Yeah.
So that and relatively cheap cost. It's I'm with NavTrade. I think it's $20 a throw for me to buy or sell directly on the ASX. So it's not huge dollars you're playing with.
And you can sit at home on your laptop and access all the information. There's a lot of information available.
It's huge, overwhelming, and that leads us to the managed funds, because there is such a overwhelming amount of information, and often it's contrasting. Is that the right word? It's confusing sometimes, because you do get different opinions. So people they go managed funds, say, right, it's all too confusing, I'm going to trust it to an expert, which is fine. That's one strategy. And you can trust it to an expert, or you can trust it to a Vanguard, one of those sort of large sort of managed fund type of people, or you can trust it to a managed fund that is more active, that can do the analysis for you and pick the next stock in a rise, or you just go and do your own research, but I think follow a handful of people that you trust their opinion on. Don't try to Google everything and find out what works, because you just end up in this confused state. And it's like everything, have a strategy. Like what am I in? Fortescue. So I was lucky enough to buy them about 6 months ago, and the share price was low, and I was chatting to a friend of mine last week, and their price is at $19, so it's over doubled. And I said, I'm just not sure if it's an iron ore bubble. He said, well, if you're thinking it might happen, why don't you get out of some of that stock now? And it was just good advice for me to reinforce, to say, well, as you always say to me, you never pick the bottom, you never pick the top. So, you've just got to sort of hedge your bets, or take something off the table every now and then.
Yeah, and if that's something it doesn't sit well with you, then you can actually involve, I suppose, a manager to assist you with that process.
It's not everyone's like us who likes to look at a balance sheet and work out what the price to earnings ratio is and what a return looks like.
That's right. Yeah.
Some people do it, and some people go, "Oh, that's just overwhelming. I have no interest in that."
So there's a lot of information available, look, that's a wider conversation if you want to do that.
And I like what he said there, that no more than 12 to 15 shares. I think that's a really good rule of thumb.
Yeah,
more than that, you just start to get.
I think you're replicating an index then. So then,
And you pointed there, just to refresh people's memory, an index fund essentially would say, as an example, match itself against the Australian top 200 stocks and just replicate that. So whatever that average is doing, just follows the averages. That's definitely an index fund.
Yeah. And then if you're wanting to get someone who backs their judgment a bit more, that's when the active side of things.
Active manager.
But you do tend to pay a little bit more for that.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd run through just some ideas just to wind up in terms of a financial plan and what that is and what you should think about. And just this example is just a young couple. Things that we think about is your home ownership, cost of living. Is there a need to fund school fees in the future? Is there potential relationship issues that we need to consider? And also how we're looking out for your parents. And just to understand, it's not all about a solution. It's about understanding, I suppose, your family and what's important in your life. So then I'll go through, from my point of view, just thought provokers that can sort of help young people think about how they can improve their I suppose, their ability to invest.
Yeah.